either the academic or the honors level course. They can take advanced placement, English literature and composition, and for the first time this current year, 2011-12, we are offering advanced placement English language and composition. What I'm proposing that you adopt is that students in their senior year, starting in the course registration process of the next few weeks for next year, will be able to elect one of a number of courses to satisfy their senior English requirements. So it would be the 4 courses that I already mentioned, as well as adding in contemporary dramatic literature at both the academic and I'm proposing an honors level course for that class, and also journalism. And we believe that by giving students choice and offering to them courses that may tap into a higher level of interest for them, that they can be not only more successful but better prepared for pursuing something that they may wish to study in college. So you had adopted last year contemporary dramatic literature as an academic level course. So the first course that I'm proposing for adoption tonight is contemporary dramatic literature at an honors level course. So that's number 1. And going through the list, an additional English course, this would be a junior elective only, is the Writer's Workshop. Again, this would be an elective course for students, solely dedicated to just working with students to improve their writing skills in a number of areas, a number of genres, whether it's persuasive writing, argumentative writing, the 5-paragraph essay, research paper, all of the facets of writing. That would be an elective course for students in grade 11 only. We currently offer advanced placement calculus at what's called the AB level. We would like to continue to offer that, but I'd also like to propose that we adopt advanced placement calculus at the BC level, which is just a higher level of calculus at the advanced placement level. It's the more rigorous of the two. It's an extension where there's a lot of overlap of the two, but the BC calculus extends the learning. On page 2 is a course in the humanities department. It's called Contemporary Affairs. You might remember last year I came to you with Modern American Cultural Studies as a junior-senior elective. That's a team-taught course. Mrs. Willis has been in to observe that class with me. It's really great. We have over 30 students taking the class. It's really a kind of a decades unit design course. They started in the 1920s and they've studied a decade over a period of time, and they're going to do that working up to the present by the end of the school year. This Contemporary Affairs Humanities elective, however, is similar, but it's different. It's different in the sense that this is focused on what's going on in the world around us at the moment type of course. So somewhat similar in that we're kind of looking at ourselves, if you will, through history, but just in a different period of time. I'm pleased to propose to you 2 courses in our art department. They are digital photography and industrial design. I think digital photography probably speaks for itself. We have had graphic design running here, both as graphic design and advanced graphic design, which is new for us this year, but there is a significant amount of student interest in courses in that area, and we think digital photography is a good elective to be offering to them to supplement their study in art. And likewise, industrial design is a little bit more narrow in focus. This really is, in the course description you will read that this really does bring in, it's kind of a melding of science and art, or engineering and art. So this is more kind of a career-oriented, more specialized area of art that we think there are a number of students who are interested in taking advantage of. So that would be a sophomore, junior, senior elective in the art department. The next course is in special education. I did ask Mrs. Bullitt, our Director of Pupil Personnel Services, if she would be here tonight too, because I think both she and the special education department deserve credit in working to design a course that really is ahead of the curve, so to speak. I think it's fair to say that schools are going to be required to be offering a kind of a course that will help students to plan for their education, students with special education needs, up through age 22. So this course would be a very, this would be for an identified student that would need the kind of assistance that a transition planning course would allow for them to kind of plan for the future as well as to maximize their high school experience. So I don't know, Patty, if there's anything you want to add on that, or?
I believe this course description that's been written up really highlights and describes what has been mandated to us in the reauthorization of IDEA in 2004. That really does mandate us to prepare our students with disabilities for post-secondary opportunities. This course will allow for those components that we're mandated to provide, to provide those opportunities and also to provide a comprehensive assessment of students' interests as well as their skill level so we can prepare them post-high school.
And then the last course, I mentioned it when Mrs. Brown was making her presentation on health and phys ed, is Fitness in the 21st Century. This would replace the standard junior, senior physical education elective. We're looking to bring a classroom component into the phys ed elective as well for juniors and seniors. So, you know, as the department advances and as the needs advance, we believe that there's a place for, you know, elevating our program in fitness for junior and senior students. We're not at the point of offering it in kind of the semester format that we do with freshmen and sophomores, but this would be more of a kind of classroom and gymnasium integrated approach. So that would be the junior senior elective course, open for all juniors and seniors if they wish. So that's it. I think there's 8 in all. I'm certainly, obviously, available to answer any questions that you might have about any of these, but I'm seeking your adoption of these for 2012-13.
Any questions or comments from the committee?
I have a question for Superintendent Biggles regarding the English course requirement. I'm just wondering if you have any thoughts to share about changing this requirement.
I think it fulfills the requirements. Again, North Reading has been ahead of the curve regarding Mass Core and making sure that we're offering a high level of courses all 4 years of the high school experience. And so I think offering an opportunity for students to have choice in their senior year allows them to be thinking not only of fulfilling a requirement, but what they may be interested in pursuing as they move on to college.
I have a second question.
Yes.
Mr. Bernard, I always ask this question whenever you introduce a course that's called Contemporary Affairs. This is a balanced course in terms of viewpoint, perspective.
I'm confident it does.
That's all I need to know. Thank you.
Thank you.
Any, Mel?
John, and maybe for Kathy also, I don't want to try to create a lot of extra work, but I think one thing that would be interesting is, I don't know what form the report could take, if we could see, like, I know you don't offer all the new club courses that I've introduced, some of them are still being offered, some of them stopped being offered. And I think it would be interesting to see, for example, if a course was only offered 1 year, was it because there wasn't the interest in that? So it might give us a better, you know, feeling going forward what courses might be more successful and which might not be. I mean, I think all the courses you bring to us, they usually look to me like courses that the students would be interested in, but even if it was just some report on, you know, while we've added 40 new courses, 15 of them don't continue because of X, or, again, I don't want to make, you know, tremendous amount
I can
of work.
answer it right now.
Okay.
There are only 3 that have not run. Yep. Advanced Placement Statistics, which I believe will run in September. We introduced it for this year for the first time, this current year, but it did not run because of a low enrollment. I think we had 5 students, if I'm not mistaken, that elected. The only other 2 that I believe have not run are Marketing and Sales and International Business. Yeah.
All those courses you proposed over the last.
Yeah. In fact, some of them are huge. Mr. Kane's philosophy class, sports and entertainment marketing, advanced placement in environmental science. I think there's 43 students enrolled in that. There's 2 sections there. A number of them are popular. I take it back, Mr. Webster. Literacy and Legacy of Shakespeare is not running this year. So 4. But yeah, the numbers are good. You know, what happens is you get, you know, I don't want to overcomplicate it, but basically what happens is you're redistributing students into areas of interest. It's not like we're all of a sudden adding a course where we're now going to get the 25 students right away. They have to be taking some course, so it's really, that's where the needs, you know, we benefit from not having to add staff because we're really just, you know, redistributing students in areas of interest that they want to pursue.
So you might have one less section in X English course because enough kids have moved
Exactly.
into Y English.
Yeah, I can give you a very, very concrete example. Last year we had 3 sections of advanced placement biology. Okay, this year we have 2, but we have two sections of advanced placement environmental science. So the numbers are up a little bit, but they've really just been redistributed. And I think the advantage in what students gained was there were students that were probably taking the AP biology because they wanted to take that rigorous science course, but now are much more interested in the potential for environmental science. So those 40 or so kids elected to take that.
How many students, for example, you mentioned the AP statistics, I think that that would be a great course to offer, but if only 5 students selected it, how many students do you need to have before you go run the course?
That's a good question. It really, I don't know that I can answer it exactly for you. I can tell you that I think it's less to do with the number of students that enroll than it is with, by running that class, are we doing something that I think compromises the integrity of some other course in the department. So if I were to have run AP statistics with 5 students, that teacher is obligated for the class, but it might have meant, for example, that geometry classes would have had an average class size of like 27, and I just thought that that was too high, so I made the decision not to run it. But we're running AP World History this year for the first time with about 9 students, but that's typical of the first year. We've done that with other classes, and in the first year, you kind of bite the bullet, so to speak, but the course, generates interest, and, I can think of very concrete examples where it might be 20 in the second year because, other students start to hear about it, and they decide they want to take the course. So, so very few don't run, I'm glad to say. And I also am glad to say that our students are taking, and a lot of this, I don't do the work on the, I pull this all together, but it really is generated by our teachers' areas of interest, and they're talking with students about the kinds of courses that they want. This is a list of pretty rigorous courses. These are not the proverbial basket weaving, that we often, make jokes about. These are very high-level courses. Our advanced placement program, assuming you adopt this tonight, will go to 15 advanced placement courses next year. That's not typical of a school this size. I can tell you that.
Okay, thank you, John. We're going to need a vote to approve the new course selections. We have 8 courses that are proposed by Mr. Bernard. Unless there's an objection to any one of them, we'll take one vote for all 8. Any problems with that?
No.
Okay.
Are we also approving the new requirement?
Yeah, I would say the new curriculum, the change in the curriculum requirement also. I don't know if you need to do that separately or separately.
Yeah, we do need, I would.
Probably separate vote, I think, on that.
Okay.
Okay. So we have a motion on the course selection. All right, motion by Cliff.
Second.
Second by Mel. Okay, any further discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor, please say aye. Aye. Opposed, none? Motion carries by a vote of 5-0.
Now I'll make a motion to approve the change in the curriculum for the senior English course requirement.
Second.
Okay, we have a motion by Mel and a second by Karen. Any further discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor, please say aye. Aye. Opposed, none? Motion carries by a vote of 5-0. Thank you very much, Mr. Bernard.
John. Great job.
Thank you.
Okay, next on the agenda, I think we can move back to the report from the superintendent on the secondary school building project. We already saw the presentation, but I think superintendent wants to update us on some information.
Sure, I just have a couple of points to share with the committee this evening. The last secondary school building committee meeting was held on Tuesday, December 20th. During that meeting, there was an extended discussion about the elimination of the practice baseball field at the middle school, and there were representatives from Parks and Recreation as well as the Diamond Club, and they had a chance to present their concerns as well as their ideas to the committee. The committee deliberated and had many discussions about some of what was suggested. Just previous to that meeting, the schematic design study was submitted to the MSBA. So at the end of this conversation, it was made known that any changes to the plans would have the potential of delaying the MSBA approval process. So the SSBC voted not to make any changes to the plans at this time to keep the process moving forward. There were potential dates for a special town meeting and election that were discussed. Mr. Venezia spoke about those suggestions this evening. The Board of Selectmen will be talking about those dates with the SSBC tomorrow night, and hopefully they will vote.
Yeah, I think that's hopefully we're going to vote tomorrow night. At least the secondary school building committee will vote on a recommendation based probably on input from the selectmen. But Mr. Simons told me that the Board of Selectmen are meeting tonight, and it looks like, and I don't want to, this isn't cast in stone, but it looks like March 19th will be the town meeting. And it looks like the following Saturday, or the Saturday of that same week, which would be March 24th, would be the potential special election. But we'll find that out for sure tomorrow from the selectmen.
Okay, thank you. During this meeting, our architect, Brad Dorr from Dorr and Whittier, had indicated that he was working on the details of the cost of not going forward with the project so that a comparison can be drawn between the project and necessary capital improvements to the middle school and the high school. So I believe we'll have more conversations about that tomorrow evening as we prepare for the second public forum